going on, Undrafted family? Merry Christmas Eve. And we are your Undrafted podcast crew, man. I'm honestly excited to be here. Like I said,
yes, sir.
Episode Christmas Eve, my favorite time of the year. I'm excited to be here with my family, not only physically, but also with you guys, and to be able to have a great opportunity that we have with our guests. It's honestly exciting. Like I said, great time of the year, great vibes, a lot of good things happening. So I'm very grateful and just feel very blessed to be able to have this opportunity with you guys. How are you guys doing?
Amen.
Grateful, man. Happy that we got to the end of the year, man. This year was something else.
For sure. Crazy year.
Yeah, I'm not sure 2021 is going to be any better or any more fun. But that being said, just prayers, lots of prayers. But I'm excited we made it through.
Yeah, I agree with my husband, Danny. Just a lot of crazy up and downs, but just a lot of ups, and knowing the opportunity and blessings we have to be even on this podcast with so many humbled guests and being able to learn during the pandemic is still growth for me. And, I just got to look at it positive and just really looking forward to see what 2021 it has in store for all three of us. Big news coming up for, my brother Kevin. Time's been coming and we're excited for that. So please stay tuned for next week's live episode that we will be having with my brother, who will be having an announcement for our Undrafted fans. Okay. And then we also want to include the idea that we will be having the opportunity to catch up with our fans too. So if there's anything you guys want to ask us, make sure you drop them in the comments below on our YouTube page, as well as on Instagram in our @undrafted.com.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm excited. Like I said, the opportunity for myself is an opportunity for all of us. So, I'm extremely humbled and just excited. I'm excited. Like I stated earlier,
it's about time. You've put in a lot of hard work. It's about time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm just excited for us. I feel, like we're headed in the right direction and just extremely humbled. I can't stop using that word. And I know that we all have used that word plenty of times. And it's just humbling. It's humbling to the things that are happening for us, and we're just ready to give back. I think that's our biggest thing, is being able to give back to everybody that's helped us, and I'm excited. And like I said, Merry Christmas again to everybody watching and to you guys. Definitely love you guys, and it's gonna be fun.
It's a lot of fun, for sure. Stay tuned for that. And with that being said, we also want to direct our attention to Smiles Missionary Foundation. This foundation focuses on offering our youth and adults the possibility of a better education, access to essential medical care for the normal development of childhood, basic and essential nutrients and nutrition plans for their growth, ease of attending school, and developing moral and social values, and most importantly, spiritual, that makes the child a good human being. At the same time, it gives each of the participants the privilege of discovering and fulfilling a purpose in this life. So if you see yourself donating towards this very special missionary foundation of Smiles, please donate to our websites that will be dropped below on this link after we are done with our special guest this evening. And most importantly, the focus is that we can all draw smiles on family faces all around the world.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Thank you again, Smiles, and Pastor Gustavo Esquarson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the original. Nice. Is it that time?
Yes, sir.
I believe it is.
Let's do it.
Let's get it. Yes,
sir. Well, Undrafted podcast family, it's time to bring in our guest. He was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He worked at Central Point Christian Academy. He coaches grad athletes and focuses on building their skills, both physically and academically. He attended Adams Central High in Monroe, Indiana, where he wrestled. The wrestling is his thing. Honestly, having a different sport background, like for you, Kevin, it's soccer. Like incorporating those things into basketball, it gives you a level up. Like you have now something else you know how to use over the
correct.
Yeah, you as a trainer, you know how important it is to know how to use your body, to know what your body is able to do and what it's not able to do. So you as a trainer, that how important that is in being able to pick up those different things from different sports.
Yep.
Exactly.
So after high school, he walked on to Indiana Tech, and then he left Indiana Tech in 2016. And now he was within his third year coaching the gold team, should I say, or gold segment of the post grad.
That's what's up.
Yeah, post grad. Excuse me, I can't even
Okay.
speak today. Athletes.
Right.
Our guest today is Jeff Metzger.
Woo!
Hey guys,
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, it's all right, Danny. Sometimes I can't speak either. So
Man, today's one of those days, man. Every R is an L, and I don't know what's going on.
yeah, that's how it is.
But I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us today.
Good to see you, Coach.
Yes.
Nice to
Tell us,
see you.
how's your day been going today?
Going good. I'm actually at my girlfriend's Christmas right now, so I snuck away, came upstairs.
Are they aware that this is happening?
Yes.
Okay. We don't want to get you in trouble now. Now, Jeff, something we do here on Undrafted, we typically ask our guests the first question: what does the word undrafted mean to you?
See, I've been watching every podcast, so I've been trying to think of a good answer.
Hey, let's go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you.
Undrafted. I've been thinking about it lately. A word that comes to mind is try harder.
Okay.
That makes sense. You hear undrafted, you're like, okay, I should maybe try harder, or that person should try harder. And that's what I think undrafted means.
Okay.
Try
And
hard.
have you ever felt undrafted or counted out, or that you needed to try harder at a certain skill or sport or segment?
I mean, all the time. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. So whether it's somebody beat you to the line in the store, you're like, oh, okay, I got to try harder to beat them. Like even little things like that. So, I mean, yes, I've felt that. Everyone has.
Yeah, definitely. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yes,
definitely hearing your story when we got together, and and Melly told us a little bit about your story. I definitely got a lot of undrafted vibes from what you've been through. So definitely, I know that the word undrafted, it definitely has played a big impact in all three of our lives. So I'm excited, to hear a little bit more about your story and kind of dissect that word a little bit more and go into the importance of hard work and knowing what you want, regardless of if you're being unnoticed or if you were quote unquote undrafted.
Yeah, I was born by a single mom. We lived in a trailer. So you see all these stories on TV when you were younger, when I was younger, and all these people that have made it to sports, made it coaching, whether it's rappers, country music artists in general. They've all, not all of them, but some of them came from bad places. And, so growing up, I was always like, I could do that. I could be on the camera one day. I could be famous, all this stuff. And that's always in the back of my head, kinda, is, thinking about becoming in front of a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just always in my head. And, I sit here and I look down because just thinking about everything that's happened so far and where I've came from, it's just like I can't even look people in the face sometimes because it's so amazing to me. Like I'm like, okay, I can't. It's too great to share. Like
bad circumstances like that would normally trump anybody else. What I guess kept you going and pushed you through to get to where you wanted to get to?
It's always been my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, so she passed away in 2016 from breast cancer, and even before everything happened with the breast cancer, she's always been there for me. Obviously, being single mom, she's been there, and so everything I've done is just a reflection of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. It's definitely good to have a family support system, especially when they're supportive of you. Oftentimes, and I'll tell my kids too, hey, not all the time is family supportive, and sometimes they might hate, sometimes they might be jealous, sometimes they may just because it may not be them, but it's always good to have somebody, to push you get to where you need to get to.
That about your mom, but I can definitely tell that the influence that she had on you, it still carries to you today. My question is regarding how important is family regarding the situation that your job and what you've been going through. I know that you're kind of in a different aspect of getting guys to try to go to college, to try to go pro. how important is that family background to these kids who may not have it and are presented with different, different situations or different opportunities or may not get that opportunity?
Yeah. So the first thing when I go to a new program or have new kids come to our program, I usually try to kind of get a note on the ones that don't have a good family life. And those are the first ones I gravitate towards, because I know what it's like, obviously. And just connecting with them and bringing their better self and becoming a better player as it goes, because as I'm talking to them, they're like, yeah, my old coaches, they didn't care. Old coaches, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I care about you. Like, I'm not going to be here getting paid, however little I'm getting paid for nothing. Like I'm here to, care about you guys, not just as a player,
Of course.
And plus I can relate to I've been through almost everything like somebody could go through in their life. So I can relate to almost every kid, and it's pretty nice. I've been told, I'm a player's coach. That's what they say all the time. No matter where I'm at, I'm good.
Yeah. So could you tell us then a typical day then that you would go through, whether it's at Central Point Christian? Just walk us through, I guess, a typical day, and maybe even go into what your hardest days might look like.
Yeah. So a normal day, I'll just go with Central Point. So what we would do, I would wake up at 7:30, take a shower. 8 o'clock we would get, or not 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock we would get in the van, drive to practice, which was an hour away due to COVID. And so we drive to practice. At practice 10 to 4, 1 hour of it is in the weight room. The rest is like skill development, a lot of shooting. And then we would go to lunch at UCF campus. There's a place called Nitro's. We would go there and eat. It's a buffet style. After that would be my little time of rest. I would go home and rest for like 2 hours, then take the guys to dinner, same place, UCF. And then I would go home, go to sleep, do the same thing the next day.
What does it look like for you guys?
So we're just looking for somebody that, wants to play, wants to go to college. That's everybody's main goal when you go post grad is to go to college. And so we want somebody that will work hard, listen to the coaches. And the thing is with post grad, it's usually the kids that have, either bad grades or they want to improve their game or they've gone through something bad. So a lot of the kids do have attitude problems, like more relevant than other high school program type things. And so, it's just to make them better people and get them to college, no matter what.
So yeah, that's awesome.
So we always teach them, daily life skills. I'm really big on it. I used to, if they didn't do the dishes or something, I would say, okay, we're not going to have air for like 15 minutes in the van on the way to practice, just because you can't be dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean,
nobody was getting hurt or anything.
No, yeah, I mean, I like that though, because it's, you're kind of disciplining, even if it's just in the smallest way, you're disciplining, you're showing like life values within that program. I guess listening to what you were saying, how hard is it to coach very good talent, but bad discipline? If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of a broad question, but how hard is it to coach that, because I'm pretty sure you have not only athletes, but you have guys who can play the game of basketball. So, so how hard is it to have, somebody that can hoop at such a high level, but it's so hard to get him to the classroom, or it's so hard to get him to stay out of trouble?
I mean, everything has its struggle, no matter what type of player. He could be the best person in the world, but there's always going to be at least one minor problem. So, I mean, for me, that's why I said I always try to connect with the players, especially the ones that come from the worst background first, and then grad towards the ones that are easier to be along with, because we want everybody to develop into a great, human being. And so that's why I always try those little lessons, or I'll pull the best player aside. I'm like, this won't work in college. That won't work in life general. And, usually they like, oh, okay, this is the only coach talking to me about this. Like, let's gravitate towards that. And then, so I'll share with the other coaches and they'll be like, okay, I know what to do now.
Is there something specifically that you're looking for, or something that that says it's kind of like an aha, okay, this is how I'm going to connect with this kid, or this is how we're going to, be cool?
Yeah. So
That makes
usually when I see one of the kids that maybe have a similar background, they'll be either extra loud or
Okay.
they'll be extra quiet. So like they'll sit back and not want to talk to anybody, or they'll be like, "Hey, like I'm better than all of you guys. Like I've been doing this forever," or they'll just be loud.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, "Okay, like that guy's good, but there might be a reason why he's acting that way. It could just be because that's how he is, but 9 times out of the 10, what I found out is that it's usually an issue that's happened in the past that makes him want to be so loud or be so quiet."
Every coach kind of goes through an instance where like the athlete might doubt them in what they say, or might think that they may know better just because they're out on the floor. Have you ever experienced that? And what do you say, I guess, if you have?
Yeah. So it's happened a lot, obviously, because I'm not the typical coach. Like I played basketball, but not to the level of a lot of coaches have.
Okay.
So usually players will gravitate ones that played in college or played pro. They won't go to the guy that was, oh, he was just like a student manager or something. They won't gravitate towards that or listen. So like sometimes they'll disrespect you. Like I won't say his name because I love the kid, and he's playing at a D1 right now, very good D1. But one time, like we had the players that were injured, they would clean the court, and if somebody fell, if there's sweat, the injured players would be on that, not the coaches. So I'm doing scoreboard, somebody falls, there's a wet spot. And so the player looks at me, he's like, "That's your job, you're gonna go clean it up?" And like dead serious, he's not like joking. He's like, "That's your job, right?" I'm like, "No, it's not my job." Like, I mean, I would do it, yes, but right now we have the injured players, they're not doing anything, so they're gonna clean. That's what we had at the program. And so he's like, "You have too much ego," all this stuff. And, we got in a back and forth, which I shouldn't have done. But at the time I was like, "Oh, what the heck?" And we got back and forth. I was like, "No, you're the one with the ego." And we got back and forth. But we're cool now. We were cool that night, actually, after practice. But,
And so I wanted to ask you, because you did say mentioning about a D1, and I kind of have an idea who could it be, but I'm not going to say, obviously.
I was going to ask, can we guess? Can we guess who this person is? But I didn't want to go there.
Off air. No,
off air.
I'm kidding.
But not to call it the dude, but I mean, in that aspect of kids that know they are good and respectfully good too, and had attitude adjustments as well. I wanted to ask you also about the relationship that you have with Lamelo Ball, and as well as your experience at SPIRE. What was that like? It's just tremendous enough to even see you on like those little YouTube channels and be able to see you like, oh, there's Coach Jeff Metz. It's just awesome to hear your story, and I'm really intrigued to find out your SPIRE experience as well as your relationship with Lamelo Ball and Jermaine Jackson Sr. Yeah,
so with Lamelo, my relationship, we don't talk all the time. Like obviously, he's a busy guy. And he's probably one of the coolest kids. Like I was there 2 weeks prior to him coming. And so I remember Jermaine comes in the coach's office and he's like, "Yeah, we got a big time player coming." We're like, "Oh," all the coaches are like, "Oh, wow, okay." And then I think it was a week later, we had to have a staff meeting at SPIRE. And we're like, "Okay, everything's going to change now. There's going to be like TV cameras. There's going to be this, that." And we're like, "Okay." And like, we're proud to introduce, we're going to have Lamelo Ball. And I'm sitting there like, what did he just say? Like, this is everybody's watched him grow up, and you're sitting there like, "Okay, Lamelo Ball." So I was like, "Okay, Lamelo Ball." That's what I kept saying in my head. I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." But we still got our other kids to worry about. Like, obviously Lamelo is going to bring a lot of talent. We still got our other kids to worry about.
Yeah. And was there any pushback from those other kids that Lamelo was coming?
No. How
rhetorical?
How excited they were once they heard Lamelo was coming.
Oh man! Okay.
They just didn't care anymore. They just said, "Think he can take my spot." Is that what they said?
It wasn't even that. It was just like, it was just surreal because I mean, some of the players already knew of Lamelo or maybe came across him, like Rocket Watts, Isaiah Jackson, because they're always, they've had their blue check mark, I think, for a while, you know what I mean, on Instagram. True. So, they all know each other, I think. So I mean, it was cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just to have LaMelo come. I remember I was doing something, and I walked in the coach's office the day LaMelo got there, and there's just a whole bunch of bags on the floor, and there's like it was like a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton bag, and I'm like, he's here. That's his bag. I know it.
Of course.
And,
Is there something that about him, you know, that you got to know that you know, from us outsiders we may misjudge about him?
he's really down to earth. Like like he knows what he wants. He just like with the high school, he wanted to go back to high school. That's why he came to Spire. He wanted to go to college, but you know, a lot of things played into that, so he couldn't go to college. And you know, it's funny because he cares a lot. I mean, he doesn't care what people say, you know, but he cares about his education.
I saw that you had mentioned that even on the bench during a game, he eats Skittles and
So
bananas.
before the game, he would have some Skittles and a banana. Usually, I only seen it like a couple times, but that one picture we have, he had the banana and the Skittles, and I remember the crowd behind me; it was packed, and they're all yelling like, "That's all he eats is Skittles and banana. That's why he's so skinny." And like, and it was funny because I'm just like, man, these people are wild. They just
they're wild. The other question that I want to like dive into more is the Spire experience, as well as your connection to Jermaine Jackson Sr. What was going on? How'd you get that opportunity? What happened to you? Like, describe us, you know, that testimony of that portion.
So Jermaine, great guy, a great coach. Like he's just like LaMelo. He knows what he wants. And as soon as LeVar got there, he talked to Jermaine, and I think they probably were already talking before he got there. But LeVar and Jermaine are like this because they think the same. They're like the same person.
Awesome.
and it was so cool because, you know, LeVar, you know, thinks his kids are the best, and as he should. He's just their father, you know, and they are pretty good. Like, he's not wrong. They are really good. And Jermaine, as soon as he saw LaMelo, even before he came, he knew LaMelo would be a pro because he's a pro. Like, you can tell players that are going to be pro and ones that aren't. Like, starting at middle school, you can kind of get a conception. A sense, yes. Yeah. Because like, I know some players that, you know, let's say Julian Newman, for example. You know, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's the best. He went viral, all this stuff. But is he going to go to the league? Probably not. But LaMelo went viral, all this stuff. You're like, yeah, LaMelo's going to go, especially if he gets taller, because, you know, he used to be short. And now he's especially got tall, and now they're like, oh yeah, it's over. And that's how Jermaine always felt. And Jermaine will always keep it 100. That's what he's a phenomenal coach too. Like at Spire, you know, we did plays, did all that stuff. But let's be honest, when you have a group that we had for the high school team, you know, there's not a sense of doing too many plays because, you know, these guys know how to play basketball. Where you're like, here, you go, LaMelo facilitate 12 assists a game. Or I think he averaged like 12 or 13 a game at Spire. Then you have Rocket, you know, does his little jab step. Yeah. He gets everybody on it.
He's a killer, man.
I like him, yeah.
Isaiah catching alley-oops. Myron Gardner, alley-oops.
Is that number 16?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I remember him.
Myron was a great kid too.
Yeah, he's
a funny guy. You're right. And Jermaine's so smart. When he did a play, it would work. So if we needed a basket right then and there, Jermaine would be like, da 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 da. Boom, it works. Yeah. He would, like, that's why I say, like, every time I talk about coaches that it's been an honor to be under. It was Jermaine. Jermaine's one of the top guys. We'd go places, all of us, and we'd chill at his house, you know, eat our food that we got. And, you know, he would always talk basketball. That's all. If Jermaine's like, if you're going to be over here, we're at least going to do something. So he'd be like, Jeff, draw me a play real quick, or draw me one of these plays. Coach T, draw one of these plays. You get it wrong, you better study it up, because in practice, I'm going to make you run it.
Oh, I think that's cool, though, because he instilled that confidence in you. And he was able to be that leader to you, you know, and I'm sure that you've learned so much from him. So I feel like, you know, I feel like he was testing you in a good way, though. Like, he was letting you know, like, hey, you know, like how you said, he's about that. He knows what he wants, always talking basketball. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm out. It seems from what you're telling me that he was super, super chill and super willing to fill you in on that knowledge.
No, but I wanted to ask you, like, what was it like to meet like a people person like LeVar? Because I've always wanted to go to a pop-up shop too, just to meet him, because he just seems just so warm and welcoming, like humble, and I like that about him so much.
LeVar is cool.
Yeah.
Like people had such a misconception on who he is. He just wants what's best for his sons, like no matter what, that's all he wants. It's not like he's trying to do it to say, hey, I'm better than you. He will. Yes, we're better than you. He'll say that, but
never lost.
But he's so cool. He before games, like when we had our little meeting before games with all the players and stuff, and like in the hotel lobby, LeVar would come in and sit there and he'll say a few words, to the guys to motivate them. And, he cared about every player, not just his son. He cared about all of us. And it was funny when I first said like Lamelo was coming to our program, I put it like on my Facebook, everything. Multiple people were like, oh, good luck. It's LeVar's team now.
Okay.
And no, it wasn't that, because like I said, LeVar and Jermaine, same person. So LeVar's like, Jermaine, you got this. Like, I'm going to say my stuff, but Jermaine knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
and Jermaine does. That's what. What kind of person is this? Because Jermaine has his own kids, his own family in Detroit. And he's like, what person do you know is just going to leave his whole family to come with my son? That's what LeVar said. And so he's like, you got to love Jermaine, because not many people are going to leave their own family to take care of another kid, that's not his own.
We try to do something kind of more chill and vibe a little bit here towards the end of our program. And it's called a game that we came up with. It's called This or That. So kind of, just getting a little loose and trying to have a little bit of fun here towards the end of our show. So we came up with some questions for you. You get a chance to choose either this one or that one. So hopefully we can have a little bit of fun with it and let's see your takes on it.
For sure.
Alrighty. So my first question is going to be, we're going to do a little imaginary shot clock here and kind of do a little rundown, like PTI. All right. My first question, since we are in the Christmas spirit, are you more of a Christmas guy or a Thanksgiving type of guy?
Christmas.
Okay. Christmas. All right. My second one, are you between the debate, especially this year is going to be really interesting. It might be the finals as well. Are you the KD type of guy or LeBron fan?
I got to go with KD. Jermaine was actually friends with KD, so they would always talk on the phone. And
wow.
I'd walk in the office and I'd be like, oh, he's talking to Kevin Durant.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm KD all the way. And KD's very good. So is LeBron, but I'm going to go KD.
KD? Okay. Yeah, he's looking pretty serious. Those 500 days off that he got is definitely helping.
Regular.
Just want to brag that I have them both on fantasy, Kyrie and
I don't know how
KD,
you did that. I really don't know. What were we doing? I really don't know.
I have LeBron, but I feel like he's gonna tank a lot. But that's neither here nor there. All right, my third question is Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Okay. I feel like you were gonna say neither, which is fine too. Okay, are you more, since we are in winter, are you you like this winter or are you more of a summer guy? I know you were in Orlando.
Summer guy, but I'm moving back to Indiana, which is cool.
Woo. Yeah, you're gonna have like that 12 inches of snow here soon.
Yeah.
All right, this is a tough one. I didn't know if I wanted to ask you this one, but I'm gonna ask it regardless. Are you Lamelo or Lonzo?
Lamelo, come on.
Okay. Nice. I was kind of skeptical when I wanted to ask that one, but I was like, whatever, I'll ask it. Alrighty. Do you like college or NBA more? And why?
I mean, I watch them both equally because now with LaMelo and the NBA, I know people in both categories. So I love and watch both because obviously my main goal is to get kids to college. So obviously I love college because I'm watching these guys transform into who they can be. And, and now with LaMelo and the NBA.
Yeah, for sure. Now you get the best of both
worlds.
That's
a hard question. Yeah.
All right. My next one is, you like Puma or Nike or BBB?
Puma.
Don't laugh.
What's that laugh, Kevin? I'll come through this camera right now.
Shout out to Cody Lytle.
No, I was just saying the BBB, the BBB shoes didn't really last. That's why I kind of like,
Hey, that's not
I love Puma. I love Puma.
Puma. All right, I like Puma too. All right, my second to last question is: whenever you eat cereal, do you pour the cereal first, or are you a milk pourer first?
This
cereal. I don't know who
determines-
does milk. Cereal.
Okay, I was about to say this determines our relationship moving forward. If it
Every one of
any
our
milk
guests has
poured,
said the same thing. Every one of our guests has said the same thing. I don't know who pours cereal first, but I mean, you never
I
know.
don't know. I think we should make it a thing. Lovett stuttered. He's
Yeah, he hesitated.
yeah, he
Yeah, our first
hesitated
guest.
on the milk cereal. But that
That's one of the life lessons that's one of the life lessons I would share with my players. If I walk downstairs and I'd seen one of the kids putting milk in first, I would say, whoa, pour it back or dump it. I don't know, drink it real quick and redo it.
No, I agree. And then our last question is, I'm interested to hear this one, is your top 5 of all time. If you could create a top 5 of all time and you could be like, this is my team, we can beat anybody, I'm coaching it, who would it be?
Let's see. So at the center,
Okay, we're going center first. Okay.
I'm going to go with probably Hakeem.
Okay.
Good word.
Got
Hakeem the dream.
the dream. At one of the forward spots, I would probably, and I'm going to say this because I like him, but also my girlfriend's dad loves him. So I'll say Larry Bird.
Okay.
Okay,
The
that's the
you're going to
first
put him
time
at the
we've heard
4?
of.
Yeah. And
You're
then
going to put him at the 4?
I put him at the 4.
Okay.
I said that because the other night he asked me my top 5. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
okay. And I
Okay.
didn't say Larry Bird. And my girlfriend, he was a little mad, but I'm gonna say Larry. And so Larry Bird,
Indiana legend.
yeah, and Indiana. So that's where
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to.
we'll go shooting guard, Michael Jordan. Point guard, I like John Stockton because, you know, he like the guest you guys had on last time. Who was that? Said John Stockton. I can't remember.
Coach
Yeah.
Miner.
Yeah, and Coach Miner, great guy. I've been talking to him on Instagram.
Nice.
But yeah, probably him because, like he said, he's always ready to go, and like no matter what,
Never gets hurt.
never gets hurt. I don't know. And got the 3 spot. Who would I put? Gosh darn it. You know what? I'm gonna move Mike to the 3 just because, and I'm gonna put Lamelo at shooting guard.
Oh, wow.
Hey, let's go. Hey, we loyal up in here.
Yeah, you gotta stay
Yeah.
loyal, and I'm always gonna be loyal.
Yes, sir.
I know Daniel was looking at Melo. I don't know if
At least you got one
Oh, yeah, I
mellow.
know
You
you
got
got-
half of it.
Okay,
got half of it You
I
got
don't
one mellow at least.
I don't know if you were looking at it because like the shirt was falling or if you were expecting him to say Melo. No, but I appreciate you, Coach. So for me personally, thank you. If you guys want to follow, right here, it's at Coach Jeff Metz. I know it's down there, so give him a follow. And like I said, Coach, I appreciate taking your time off, especially during Christmas Eve, to share all your knowledge and the great experiences and people that you've encountered.
Yeah, thank you. And there's one more thing I want to say.
Awesome.
I say it after any interview, anything I've ever done, as of 4 months ago. But I just want to shout out my girlfriend, Catherine Key. I love her, and she's, she really helped save my life. And if we ever get another chance to talk, you guys will understand how she's saved my life.
Yes, amen.
Oh, for sure.
I wanna know that
We're
for
inviting
sure.
you back for sure. You got to come back,
Yes.
definitely.
You definitely just made it interesting. Now I want to know,
Yeah,
but
part two.
we'll keep everybody guessing because that will be a great round 2 that we get to hear, and I know that you'll definitely be presented with a lot of more opportunities that we'll be able to talk about too.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to Catherine Keys.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach. We are going to let you go for your Christmas Eve evening. We just want to wish you again a Merry Christmas and also a Happy New Year if we don't get to see you again.
Thank
But
you
for
again.
sure, we will be supporting you. We'll be posting, promoting you. And we just know that this bond is only going to get stronger. So thank you so much again for being a part of us and our UTP family. It's great to have you. Have a blessed one.
Thank you. You guys too. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Thank you
Christmas.
so
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Bye.
Man, that was fun, man.
Man, I'm
Thank you.
still like goosebumped awe in just hearing this man's raw experience and just man, this is amazing. I'm happy for him. He probably doesn't hear that a lot, but I'm happy for him and just really wish him the best in everything he's encountering here soon, especially with his new job. So thank you again for Coach Jeff Metz.
A lot of coaches are concerned X's and O's, and a lot of staff is concerned about what the main coach might want. But if you have people that are concerned with the kids and constantly checking up on them and keeping that balance, it's really
they forget that sometimes, not sometimes, that it's more than basketball, as well as if you give them more than basketball, and if you show that you care more than just on the court, they're gonna if you care off the court, they're gonna perform a lot better on the court.
Exactly. Man, it was just a great lesson for us all, just to really take in to be better coaches, better people, and really know that it's more outside the game. But the game connects us, and that's what we can't ever forget.
For sure.
So thank you again, Coach Jeff, for all that you do. I think next week is even going to be even more exciting when we're all together in person. We'll be able to banter more with our fans and with each other. And I'm just really looking forward to New Year's special edition episode next week. So stay tuned, fans. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We love you guys so much and your support. Before we go, though, we just want to give a couple of shout outs again to our special guest, Coach Jeff Metzger.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Who's a very special guest and a great testimony that we got to hear. We can't wait to have him again in the future for part 2. And also, we want to keep you guys posted again. A special invitation for next week's Undrafted podcast live session for New Year's Eve. Join in with us and come through, hang out with us. Come also join the vibe, as well as our future secret revealing of our podcast radio co-host, Kev in the Square Zone.
In the Square Zone, baby.
Yes,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun finally being able to be together and record and work out and do all that stuff and just just be together. So hopefully everybody stays tuned. We're gonna be on IG Live and do all that fun stuff. So thank you again, and thanks again for Coach Jeff for being on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Undrafted out. This is Mel Tarasi.
Danny in your face.
Kevy Fat Boy Buckets.
Peace out, family, and again, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Adios. Bye.